Welcome back to the ICF Mountain House build. Today is stucco day. JP was here last year putting the brown coat, it's called, or the base coat of stucco on the basement before we did all this porch work. And he is back today to start working on finishing the rest of the house. He's got everything rasped where the foam is. We're going to use two different systems because of the type of construction. We're going to use the EFIS system on the foam where they put fiberglass mesh, then your base coat. And then on the wood where it's OSB, we're going to use the traditional hard coat stucco, which is a little bit more work and more time, but that's the best way to do wood, especially when you have a transition from wood. So there's going to be two different types of stucco systems. We're going to do what's called a sand, light sand salt color, I guess, for the walls, and then some sort of darker color to match our windows for trim. And he's going to seal all this where the slab meets the wall, waterproof it, put a little piece of base trim molding. It's going to look really cool. So let's get ready and catch up with JP. This episode is sponsored by Greenchef. We appreciate their support, especially since Jamie is off at school and kids are out at work, and there's like nobody has time to do any of that. So Greenchef, thanks for sponsoring today's video. Let's get to work. Trying to do all this yourself.
I got it. I love it. Thank you.
Y'all remember JP? Getting set up to do the exterior stucco, which is a process. So today is basically set up scaffolding day. Gonna get all this set up so they can just basically walk the whole way around the house. Put some Durock up there on the OSB portion, and then we're going to do the EFIS part on the bottom where it is ICF. So there'll be a little transition there that he's going to make perfect. JP's been doing stucco for a long time. He's the man. Well, JP's been here all morning, pulling off the house wrap and scuffing the foam to get it all prepped for the mesh that goes under the stucco base coat. So had we known we were going to eventually stucco the whole house, I would not have bothered putting the house wrap on, although it did actually protect the foam from the UV a lot. So it's probably a good thing that I did do it. And so he's working on getting the entire outside prepped. Getting a little windy. So he hasn't done this side yet, but he started on the other side and he's working around this way. What do you think?
Oh, looking good.
All right, man. Any problems?
This is very little.
Okay.
Like you say, I guess it was paint here at the top.
Yeah, I will never use that type of block again at the top. That was a thinner block at the top we used to give us more concrete so that we could put that sill plate on. And there just wasn't enough foam to keep it straight. Yeah, so we ended up with a little bit of waviness. But the good thing is we can kind of shave it a little to straighten everything out. He's going to pay a lot of attention to this seam here where the wood meets the foam, because that's where the transition from the two different stucco systems happens. And when you're doing stucco, you got to know what you're doing, because there's a lot of ways to screw it up.
I know this, especially this one, that jumps from one type of system to the next one. So we got those transactions that got to be Very careful.
Yep. But JP's the man for the job. Got some stucco samples. Kind of leaning towards this. And then I have a darker trim color that matches our windows. Looks like you got this whole side shaved. Look good. Now he's making it snow everywhere. Early in the morning and JP is at it again. So he's masking off the windows so we don't get stucco all over our painted window trim. Getting the base coat on, brown coat. I'm not used to having this many people here all at once. It's hard to keep up with everybody. Starting to look like a house. How you making out? How you making out?
Pretty good, pretty good.
This is under the French doors on the deck side. There's a bunch of these little hang-ups that, you know, you don't think about until you get to them, but there's about an inch underneath that threshold, between the threshold and the slab, and we have to fill that with like a Duroc, and after we waterproofed it, so we need that all to be solid under there. I think every time you guys see this space, it's set up differently and configured differently. I got it set up now with samples of colors and cabinets and siding and stucco, and it's basically my little office. Boys are outside working on stucco still. I think they're starting on the main house color. They were working on trim yesterday. Now we're going to be able to see the contrast between the casing or the trim and the main wall color. So we're going to go take a look at that here in a second. But first, check out the dish I made for dinner last night, courtesy of Greenchef.
Greenchef is a USDA certified organic company that delivers dishes for a variety of lifestyles, including vegan, vegetarian, paleo, and keto.
Ingredients come pre-measured, perfectly portioned, and mostly prepped.
Greenchef offers 9 recipes to choose from weekly within every meal plan.
Let GreenChef do the meal planning, grocery shopping, and most of the prep for you week after week. Just go to greenchef.us and use code Guildbrook Farm 100 to get $100 off plus free shipping on your first box. It's probably my favorite one so far. It's day 3 or day 4, I can't remember, on stucco. So yesterday was a thunderstorm courtesy of Hurricane Ida. Didn't actually rain as bad as we thought it was going to. We were prepared. We finished papering the porch roofs about 30 minutes before the rain started, so that was lucky. And yesterday it rained pretty much all day, but it wasn't terrible, a lot of wind or anything. It was just a consistent rain. So today we're back at it. It's going to be a beautiful day, mid-70s, perfectly sunny. So these guys are back here. They're going to start waterproofing a lot of the seams. Anywhere the water can get, everything is getting caulked and waterproofed and sealed, and continuing to put the Durock up on the wood, getting ready for the base coat on that. So this is a long process, but JP is paying attention to every minor detail because you don't want water in stucco. Starting to trim out doors. So we do a casing made out of foam. Go over that with the mesh lath substrate. It's like a fiberglass. Then go over that with what he calls the brown coat or the base coat. And then it ends up looking just like that gray stuff before we go over it with color. So you can basically make any shape you want. Trim out your doors. We're doing like a baseboard down there where that chalk line is, and that'll sort of seal that place between the wall and the floor. It's already been caulked and waterproofed, but then we'll go over that with a piece of foam as a baseboard, and it'll be caulked and waterproofed again. And then when we color it, the wall will be, I think we call it salt white, with a bit of a rougher texture, and then all the trim will be, well, it'll be kind of close to the hardware, like a sort of a bronze, oil rubbed bronze. Well, you can't see it on the windows because we have them taped, but you've seen our windows before. So that's the trim color, and that'll be more of a finer texture. So got my cans in, or my boxes for the bracket lights, which I did not have done before. It was just a wire sticking out of that sleeve, so I put those bracket light boxes in, and we're moving along. See the deck side doors. So we're doing this sort of hybrid craftsman-y trim deal where the header sticks out about an inch on each side. Actually might end up having that header be a little bit bigger than the sides, because in the inside I'm going to do probably 1x4 this way and then like a 1x6 that way, and it'll kind of overhang like that. I'm gonna see about possibly making those headers a little bigger. Now's the time to do it if we're going to. Got some baseboard going down. Oh yeah, that'll work. So we never knew what we were really going to do with this front door. So we're filling it in now. And then we're going to trim out this threshold with a piece of tile, I think. Is this going to stay flat like that? Or do we bevel it or what?
Yeah, we're going to put a 45 ounces.
Oh, cool.
Double snap another line. Right now you cannot move it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now we're starting on the difficult side. A lot of details on this one. All right, we're starting to run color and trying to decide if that trim color around that window is going to be dark enough. We wanted to get it as close to the window color as we could, but kind of a conundrum at the moment. Trying to figure out what we're going to do before we continue. Do we get some darker stuff? I don't know. So as we kind of stand here and watch it dry, it's getting a little darker, which is good. So it's starting to kind of match up a little more with the window color. So we're going to go ahead and just go with it. And you'll be able to really tell once we get the salt white color on the walls with that texture. All right, now that they've got the trim color on this wall, on these 4 windows, and it's had time to dry, it looks pretty good actually. It's starting to match the window color pretty well. And it's going to look very good in contrast with the wall color once they put that on, which I think they're going to start doing after lunch here. So we'll really be able to see what this is going to look like around the whole house. So far, really liking it. That's what the casing and header turned out looking like. It's pretty cool. I like that. They cleaned that up too because there was a gap here where the door didn't quite jive. So they filled it in and cleaned it up so that we can stain it and caulk it. Nice. Kind of a nice deep entryway there. You know, it's like a foot. I think I mentioned before, we're going to put one of our bath tiles, the wooden planks, you know, line that threshold with that. I think that'll look cool. Got the baseboard done. They did file down the 45-degree angle on top, so it looks, you know, cool when they did the miter. So you can kind of see how that turned out. So that'll drain water. Good. I haven't got the base coat on these doors yet. Probably because this is the sunny side and they want to be under the porch. Really like how this system works. I was messing around with trying to figure out how to make my own casing and all that when we were talking about doing hardy plank siding and board and batten stuff. And it just got to be where, I don't know, I didn't like the way it looked and I didn't like all the crap you had to do. This works really well. So they just make the casing out of foam and then they go over that with the stucco so it's all sealed. And they leave you about an 1/8 inch. So you can caulk that very well and nothing ever leaks. It's a pretty good way of doing it. I like it. And then you can make, obviously you can make this whatever color you want. Make that a different color if you want. Gives you a lot of creative flexibility where you can make all kinds of molding and trim and neat designs because it's basically just foam. That looks nice.
Oh, yeah.
Got the texture going. How does that work? How does it make that texture?
With this plastic cloth, you gotta do circles on it. You kind of stir it a little bit, and then you can go back down a little bit and knock it down.
Huh.
See, but you cannot do it so much on the wall. You gotta be certain amount on it.
Ah.
If you try, let's say if you say that heavy, you wanna put it in there, it'll never give you the testa. See that?
Yeah.
So you gotta be. It's got little gravels on it, and that's what makes it.
Oh, it's got gravel in it. I got you.
You got the gravel, and then you just go around on it and kind of clean this plastic floor, and it'll smooth it down.
Cool. That looks good.
¿Quieres quebre la wall?
Oh, they got the trim papered off or plasticed off now too, so they don't get the light color on the dark color. Getting the scaffold set up on the main wall. That's what you call scaffolding. Holy crap. Getting it done.
We rotate there like I told you.
Yep. Oh yeah. Build it out.
This projection out, but a little bit longer, and this one a step like half inch higher than that. That way, because this is the hanging part of them, it's going to be covered with the stone. And
right
here I cannot hang it over an inch, it'll be too much on it.
Gotcha.
I would say at the most half inch we can wrap it up there. You're just going to paint it, you ain't putting nothing else on the wood in.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we're just going to put the paper to hang, and once we have the do-right, we just take a sharp knife and
okay.
cut it right along the bottom.
Yep, that'll work.
The states on it. The second time you go over, you barely, you kind of hang it here. And you hear it.
That's cool.
Right.
Nice. Got the plastic off. Well, it's been a long couple weeks. They're still at it. I'd say they're about 90% finished, but at least we're to a point where you can see what the color looks like, what the finish looks like, kind of envision how it's all coming together. They're going to finish this band around the bottom of the porch slab, and that'll be the same color as the window trim. Really like how that's all come together, how it goes with the roof. It'll go with the porch shingles as well, and the railing that we're going to do. I think it's all going to come together, and I'm really happy with the work. They did a lot of work to do those two systems and kind of make sure that all works with, you know, waterproofing, and they waterproofed and flashed and waterproofed. I mean, they did it right. So we're going to wrap this one up so I can get this video posted. It's been a little while since we did a video because we've been just doing all this. So I want to thank Greenchef once again for feeding us this week. That was super helpful. I want to thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Take it easy.